Our top story today from the GatewayPundit.com, scientists achieve world's first animal de-extinction. They've resurrected the dire wolf species lost for over 12,500 years and popularized on Game of Thrones. We're talking about this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review, where we cover the top 5 stories of the last 24 hours. Our top story today comes from a fiction film. I'm just kidding. This is actually real life. Scientists achieve world's first animal de-extinction, resurrect the dire wolf species lost for 12,500 years, and popularized on Game of Thrones, BenQ reports. A Texas biotechnology company has announced the world's first animal de-extinction. Colossal Biosciences announced in a press release on Monday that the rebirth of the once extinct dire wolf, which it claims is the world's first successfully de-extincted animal. The dire wolf on the press release says is largely assumed to be a legendary creature made famous from the HBO hit series Game of Thrones, was an American canid that had previously been extinct for over 12,500 years. The successful birth of 3 dire wolves is a revolutionary milestone of scientific progress that illustrates another leap forward in colossized de-extinction technologies and is a critical step on a pathway to the de-extinction of other target species. In 2035, they said that they are possibly going to create the first straight males because everybody's going to be gay and straight people will be extinct. It's a true story, but I wouldn't fact check it. Additionally, Colossal has birthed 2 litters of cloned red wolves, the most critically endangered wolf in the world. Using a new approach to non-invasive blood cloning, the birth of red wolves provides further evidence of the link between de-extinction efforts and the company's growing capacity to support conservation efforts globally through de-extinction technology innovation. The company has been working since 2021 on the resurrection of the mammoth, dodo, and the Tasmanian tiger, although its efforts to bring back the dire wolves had remained under wraps until now. Now, what's really interesting about this is that this company originally started in California with the purpose of trying to de-extinctualize women without penises. You know what I mean? They didn't exist in California anymore. So they were kind of going in that process and saying, hey, get back to the original female. And then the dire wolves is a close second on what they wanted to accomplish. Now, many of you guys know, my background, of course, is directly in genetic engineering. And I'd be interested to hear what chimera or what fusion, right? Sort of fusion that they did here. Did they sequence and create their own artificial sequencing like we might have seen with the COVID vaccine? Or was this some sort of just infusion? Like, did they cut, using CRISPR and insert certain sequences that weren't, around for another species? Is this really is this just close to what we would see, or is this really a dire wolf? Like, who's going to verify it? Were you alive 12,500 years ago? It's hard to understand. The only person that was alive that I know 12,500 years ago was Joe Biden's voters. So that's a very interesting time to be alive. Now, that being said, there is a post here of the dire wolf. Check this out. Yeah, really, truly, they are a beautiful species, and it is sometimes questionable, like, what has gone extinct today, right? What do we not have other than the lack of brave men in the world? I mean, when you talk about actual animals, I'm sure we're not really upset about, certain dinosaurs that aren't around today, but I even think dinosaurs are still alive. I think Leviathan, I think they exist in the ocean. I think there's a great cover-up about it, but you tell me what you think. Now, that being said, it's also true to say that the world's smartest investors are currently looking at the stock market. Well, it's, had a little bit of a rise today. They're not really buying oil stocks anymore. They're collecting what's called mailbox money from oil royalties instead. I'm talking about passive income that shows up month after month, starting with as little as $25. Visit ElijahOil.com to discover how to tap into monthly royalty checks from America's most productive oil basin. You don't need to be wealthy or connected. You just need a regular brokerage account. That's ElijahOil.com to learn how you could start collecting oil royalty checks every single month. ElijahOil.com. That's ElijahOil.com today. Check it out. Links in the description. Now, that being said, Bill Maher breaks his silence about meeting Trump, praises him for his authenticity, as Mike LeChance reports. Bill Maher has been very quiet about his meeting with President Trump at the White House, although Kid Rock, who arranged the meeting, said it went great. Maher said that he did spill some details during a recent conversation with Chris Cuomo. He praised Trump for being authentic and noted that voters can tell if a person is a phony. Maher also offered a couple of examples of things Trump had done that he actually likes. Check out this clip we have where he actually discusses this. It's quite an interesting interaction. Watch.
Trump really interesting is one of the most effective politicians, whatever you think of the policy and him as a person, just as a politician, just understanding that always lean in to being more who you are. The people are not savvy about issues, but they smell a phony a mile away. And that kind of shit, nobody else does it. You know, there's a couple of times when, look, I've been his biggest critic for good reason. And when he got reelected, I said, I'm not going to pre-hate anything. And then the first week I said, well, there's lots of things I hate because I do. Okay, there's some things I don't hate also, but the way he can do that and sometimes kind of make me go, oh man, I got to give it up. Like when he did that thing where the guy came in from the Taliban and he said, this is an aerial picture of your house. If during our withdrawal, one American is hurt, just know I know where you live. I was like, oh, can we just play the music now? Because I don't care. It's Donald Trump and he's the worst person ever, blah, blah, blah. I fucking love that. One time they were doing something was going on with, and he said, you know what? When you come after New York, you got to go through me. It's like, oh, hometown boy. You know, he has those moments that no other politician has. And the Democrats have to find that guy.
Now, one of the crazy things about this is like, look, I don't know why we're always trying to court like liberals. Right? Why is the right always like, let's get liberals to like us? People say, well, that's because we want to win elections. I think I want to implode the system, right? I kind of like, I want to see a Bukele style overhaul of our government, right? Just fire the judiciary, you know, make sure that we're following the Constitution. I'm not even asking for a dictator to come in and dissolve the Constitution or rewrite it. I'm looking to actually experience it. I've never experienced living under a constitutional republic. I've always been under this, you know, oligarchy, technocracy, foreign influenced government. I was talking to Dr. Jack Cruz, a very prominent billionaire and investor, and he was saying, you know, the reason why you feel uncomfortable is because you've never lived in the republic, but you see the Second Amendment. And so you see what could have been, but everything else has been stripped away. The economy, your value of your dollar, your free speech. You've seen it all go, but like you still have a gun in your hand. So you're like, something feels like they gave me this gun for a reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the child, they have a paintbrush and there's a whiteboard and you're like, come on, paint the brush. Like, I'm not promoting violence. I meant like, maybe you're supposed to be protecting your rights, right? And, you know, again, clarifying, I'm not promoting violence. I'm just saying, like, he's saying, like, you know, you do hold that gun. And I have quite a few good ones that I own. I'm going to do a Kamala Harris and be like, I have the good ones. I have some of the really even better ones. What gun do you have? My gun is 3 out of 5 stars. My gun is a 3 out of 5 star pew pew. No, I have a Glock. I have 2 Glocks, right? I have a Glock 19. I have a 43X. And of course I have the traditional AR-15, but mine's modded. It's nice. I do want to get more guns though. I want guns everywhere. And that ownership of firearms is a reminder, like, why do I have this? Like, most countries you can't have this, but I'm like locked and loaded and like, I can't call someone a or, you know, use the wrong pronouns. And of course I don't promote using that kind of derogatory language. I don't think that that's, you know, the most demonstrably professional way to speak, but like, it is weird that we live in a culture where like you can lose your job and like, you know, go to jail and stuff in certain, you know, places for offending people. And it's really, really a bizarre situation. That being said, on top of that, Bloodbath in New York City, meat cleaver attack on children. Maniac suspect was shot. Jack Davis reports. The sad story is 4 girls were slashed Sunday in an attack that ended with a cleaver-wielding man was shot by New York City police. That's crazy. I've never heard of a cleaver-wielding man. It's a new description. The victims were 8, 11, 13, and 16 years old. The 11-year-old girl called 911, but there was a glitch. The 11-year-old caller stated that she and her siblings had been stabbed by her uncle. She did not know her address. Then police traced the 10:15 a.m. call to the Bensonhurst area, where police entered an apartment building, according to WNYW. She said responding officers heard screams coming from behind the door to their left and immediately began forcing their way into the apartment. Once they entered, they encountered a man standing near the entrance holding a large meat cleaver covered in blood, and they could see blood on the floor and the walls of the home. The officers ordered the man to drop the weapon several times. He refused. 2 officers discharged their firearms, firing several rounds between them and striking the subject, ending the threat. Just said the girls rescued because of the combined efforts of 911. Do we have a picture of this guy? Do we have a suspect? Who is this guy? Let's take a look. Suspect arrested. Well, that's weird. No pictures, huh? Can't get into Western Journal. All right. Well, we got no pictures, but he's a cleaver wielding man. Be careful, because you never know when those cleaver wielding people are around your neighborhood. That being said, guest blows Joe Rogan away with a terrifying transhumanism warning. This post by Vigilant Fox reports. This article originally appeared on vigilantfox.com. Biotech entrepreneur Ben Lehman painted a bone-chilling picture of where humanity could be headed on episode 231 of the Joe Rogan podcast. Check out this clip we have, and we should talk about this. Here's what they had to say.
China, Russia,
it is getting weird. Like CRISPR and these genome engineering tools are outside of the bottle. They're out. It's like the genie out of the bottle, right? It's like it's out there. You can't put it back in. I think that more and more people in other countries are going to be doing things with these technologies for humans. That's why Colossal just said, we will never do anything for humans. If someone else wants to use our technologies for humans, we'll evaluate it.
But that gets so weird, right? Like the China story. Like, can you explain to people what they did? They said they were inoculating them from HIV, which is...
Yeah. They actually were
suspect.
engineering. They were engineering babies in editing their embryos to confer a resistance to HIV. Now, still to this day, so they were cloning them, and then they were genetically modifying them. And so they're doing lots of things there's a general moratorium in the world on some of these things around humans. Anything that's considered a germline edit. So anything that could be passed on to the next generation, right? So if you engineer something into the genome, the fear is, from a germline. So all your cells in your body are somatic cells, except for your like egg or sperm. Those are germ cells. So anything that could be affected into the germline, so that you pass it on to the next generation, that could be like, umbrella corporation type moment, right? So we don't want that.
Well, the scary thing was they didn't just do that. They also edited something that would allow the child to have much higher intelligence.
Well, so that part's like that part's quoted under debate. There's people that say that happened. There's people that say it doesn't happen. If you look at BGI, or Beijing Genomics Institute, right? They did this thing that, from a nefarious perspective, was brilliant. From a nefarious perspective, is also terrifying. During COVID, they're like, we'll do all the COVID testing for you for free. We'll do all this COVID testing for you for free. No worries. Just send us your data. We'll do it all for free. You just want to help the world, right? We'll work with the World Health Organization. Just send us all your samples from all your countries, everything. And publicly, the CEO of BGI has said, which is funded by the CCP, has said that they are looking at genes with humans. They are looking at what makes humans more intelligent. They don't shy away from this. This is not like some, conspiracy like theory, like, is it a Sasquatch or is it just a man in an ape suit? This is something that is very real. They are openly saying, we are sequencing as much as we can of the world population, looking for genes for intelligence, and we will act on that. Like that's not a hidden thing. So that is the problem.
Supposedly did with these children. How old are these kids now?
I mean, that would have. When did that happen? It was, yeah, so they've been like 6 or 7.
Oh, and are they already winning chess championships?
Yeah, so we should
find out.
Yeah,
we should find out where these kids are probably in a lab somewhere with a headset on.
Yeah, I
teaching them how to be psychic.
Yeah, it is pretty remarkable, right? They're blown away as entrepreneur Ben Lamb pointed a bone-chilling picture of where humanity could be headed. Do you think it's headed there? Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions below. But obviously, we know we are headed towards a bone-chilling position. We are witnessing a generational decline in men's testosterone levels due to lifestyle choices, diet, and exposure to environmental toxins. Now, this decline can result in persistent fatigue, diminished strength, reduced libido, mood swings, and overall loss of vitality, keeping you from feeling like your best self. Take control of your vitality with Man's Edge from Neutronics Labs, the natural solution to support healthy testosterone levels. Man's Edge is more than just a standard booster. It combines powerful ingredients like fenugreek, IGF-1, NO2, and more to help you feel your best. Studies show that fenugreek increases testosterone levels by up to 46%, plus Unlike traditional powders and pills, Man's Edge offers up to 98% absorption, ensuring that you receive the full benefits of these clinically proven ingredients. Even Frank Stallone has made it part of his daily routine to stay on top of this game. Join Frank Stallone and thousands of other men with the products that I have here, particularly with Man's Edge that I use. I actually have a message, particularly from one of the followers of this show who uses this product, which I thought was pretty cool. And here's what he had to say. So let me find this real fast. He was down here. So what he told me, his name is 2Protects1. He was saying that he has seen a massive increase in his energy after just a couple months. He's seen his life with his wife, wasn't bad at all. I don't want to clarify that, but it's just gotten better. You can go more rounds. You know what I'm saying? People have a very weak grip. They're not getting, their intimate life is not going well, and it's probably because you have low T. Get one, buy one, get one free, 50% off right now with auto ship at tboostnow.com, tboostnow.com. Use promo code Elijah to save an additional 10%. That's tboostnow.com, promo code Elijah to save an additional 10% off your first order. You've got to get this, guys. We're all using it in the office, and it's great. That being said, Trump DOJ summons U.S. Marshals to warn fired Biden-era pardon attorney over testifying at shadow hearing by congressional Democrats. She testifies anyway. Check this out. I have the full clip here that you guys should watch. Listen to this testifying moment.
But I am here because I will not be bullied into concealing the ongoing corruption and abuse of power at the Department of Justice. DOJ is entrusted with keeping us safe, upholding the rule of law, and protecting our civil rights. It is not a personal favor bank for the president. Its career employees are not the president's personal debt collectors. I see only Democratic members here today, but this is not a partisan issue. It should alarm all Americans that the leadership of the Department of Justice appears to value political loyalty above the fair and responsible administration of justice. It should offend all Americans that our leaders are treating public servants with a lack of basic decency and humanity.
Absolutely interesting. Now, that being said, listen to what they had to say. Watch.
Ms. Oyer, I understand the Deputy Attorney General tried to send armed marshals to your home at night to deliver a clear message not to speak to us at today's hearing. And yet, I see you here today undaunted and unbowed, proving to Mr. Blanche and any other Trump official that you can't bully and silence everyone.
Remarkable. I mean, the fact that people think they can get away with this is just so insane. Now, obviously, if you want to continue to keep up with the interesting news that we have for you every day, make sure that you sign up for our mug club at thegatewaypundit.com. You get one of these amazing mugs. They're absolutely fantastic. They look great. They move in a positive direction. You just take them from the floor to the ceiling like stock market is going today. And you also get to support independent media and journalism. My name is Elijah Schaffer. Have a great rest of the week. As always, thank you so much again for watching and supporting. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.